qué te digo raro? ¿Para qué le...
Okay, all right. We'll always do it at the end of the class. No, we continue with the preparing exam class. Let me, wait. We are in.
And well, in the case I didn't. Sorry, I didn't. Honestly, I didn't got like enough time. We even hurry up. Right now, my tablet is charging, so I cannot turn on my camera. But when it charge, I'll turn it up. Sorry.
Okay, so everything okay? You're doing fine, Jessica. I mean, like everything is fine.
Thank you.
The thing is that we couldn't listen to you at the end. Can you repeat?
That I can't turn
your camera on.
my camera on. Right now. It's charging.
Okay.
Right
No
now
worries.
I can't.
No worries. We continue. Hold on. Okay. So we continue talking about type of tests. We have we discussed the characteristics of a good test last class, and then today is about the type of tests: placement tests, diagnostic tests, progress or achievement tests, and proficiency test. What are the placement tests? Can you read this? Jessica, please.
Placement test. According to Longman Dictionary, a placement test is a test that places students at the appropriate level in a course.
Okay, so a placement test is for example, if you want to study English, you come to the teacher, and the teacher will evaluate your level, and then will place you in the correct level. No? That's why it's called placement tests. What are the characteristics? Can you read the first one, Lucy? I mean, Jessica.
Yes. It should be general and broadly focused on a vast range of topics of the language, not just one.
Good. So it should be general. It can be only advanced. It has to go from basic and move on to advanced. Okay, continue the next one, the next characteristic of a placement test, please.
It can be represented in the form of dictation, interviews, grammar tests, etc.
For example, in my school, when you want to enter into the school, we do a placement test. It's oral, no written. It's an interview, right? Good. Continue.
It should deal exactly with the language skills that will be taught during a particular course.
Good. And finally, each institution has its own placement test. Okay. Good. Now, diagnostic tests. Can you read this, Paula?
Diagnostic tests, well, placement tests are designed to watch how good a student's English is in order to fit a system of levels. Diagnostic tests can be used to expose learners' difficulties, gaps in their knowledge, and skill deficiencies during a course.
So diagnostic test, we actually discussed a little bit last week, or last class, sorry. And we said that a diagnostic test is for the teacher, because it will tell the teacher how your students are, or his students are, if they are learning the class or not. Continue reading, Paola.
Very often, teachers don't put any marks for this type of test, and sometimes they don't even show the test to students. This to avoid a negative impact of vision.
Yes, sometimes,
Next.
for example, you present, let's say present continuous, and on the next day or in the next class, you do a revision or a review of present continuous, and that's a diagnostic test for you, even though you don't tell your students, right? You don't tell them that it's going to be an exam. You just do maybe a conversation task, you do maybe a written task, whatever, right? And then you do the evaluation for yourself. Continue, Paula.
Yes, the results of diagnostic tests will give significant information to teachers about the group he or she is work with, as well as a basis for the forming syllables.
Good. Now, progress of achievement tests. A progress test will show the teacher whether the students have learned the recent taught material successfully. It's very similar to the diagnostic. It would basically display the activities based on the material the teacher is determined to check. Therefore, the teacher intends to check certain items, not general topics covered during the course. And then the achievement test is a test, which measures the language someone has learned during a course, a study, or program. They're more formal and will only work if they contain items which the students are familiar with. In other words, the progress test is during the course, right? During the class, and then the achievement test is at the end. For example, in this course is a TKT course, right? So I will give you, or sometimes we will have a practice test, and that will be a progress test. And then at the end, you would do the official test. So that's the achievement test, okay? All right. And then finally, the proficiency test. Can you read it, Jessica?
Yeah. Proficiency test. They measure how much of a language a person knows or has learned.
Good.
Mm.
So these tests are not friendly. They're actually bad for your self-esteem. And it's to measure how much you know English, no, like TOEFL, Cambridge, Oxford, all of those exams that are rather unfriendly. My last proficiency course or exam, excuse me. Well, no, not the last one. The last one it was Sky. Like 5 years ago, maybe no, yeah, como 8 años ago, like 8 years ago, I did test. TESST. Teaching English, something. I don't remember. Anyways, it's from the College Board. I don't know if you're familiar with that. The College Board es como el Ceneval gringo. And anyways, it's a certification to be a teacher in South America. So I'm allowed to teach English in South America. I'm not going to go to South America, but it was, a certification they offered me for free. It's 6 hours long. So it's, after 5 hours, the 5th hour, I just went Ave Maria dame puntería. I wasn't even paying attention, So,
They're very long.
Sorry, Paula?
These kind of exams are very long.
Yeah, 6 hours.
Yeah.
Continue reading, Jessica, the characteristics.
They are rather long. They are intended to check the learner's language confidence. These tests could make the prospect depressed and exhausted
Chica,
after
chica.
spending a long time in the classroom. On the other hand, proficiency tests are rather impartial. They are not prospect friendly.
Exactly. This could make you depressed. And they do. They do. My last proficiency was, actually proficiency, Cambridge Proficiency English, CPE. Lo reprobé, por cierto, but that's a whole different story. And it was bad. When I finished the exam, this is like a 4-hour exam. When I finished the exam, I left the classroom and I left the school. We were in Mexico City. And I just walked for 10 minutes without direction. I just, my head was lost. Anyways, okay. So now let's the type of test items. A major factor in the success or failure of an exam of test will be determined by the item that contains. We have several, but the main 2 more important items in an exam are the direct and indirect test items. A test item is direct if it asks students to perform the skill which is being tested. Example, if it's listening the skill, then you will have listening questions. For example, listen to the following audio and answer the question. Or listen to the following conversation and then complete the phrases. So that's direct. Okay, it asks very directly the answers from a communicative skill. Introduces real life language, for example, role play, summarizing the idea, providing missing information, etc. And the last point says it gives us precise information about students' abilities. I'll give you an example. If you have an exam that has listening activities, that it has grammar activities, written activities, and everybody passes the written activities and the grammar, but only some pass the listening, which skill needs to be reinforced?
Listening.
Very good. So it will tell you specific information about your students' abilities. On the other hand, indirect testing, measures a skill through other some skill. Indirect items trying to find about the student's knowledge through more control items. I'll give you an example. You have a paragraph, no? A paragraph is for reading. And then you have the questions. Read, or the instruction, read the following paragraph and circle the verbs in past. So even though it's not writing or reading the skill, you are using a reading to measure grammar skills. It's indirect, it's not direct. A grammar question or a grammar direct question will be like, for example, write 5 verbs in past. That will be direct. Indirect is read the paragraph and circle the verbs in past. They are easier to design, easier to grade, producing, and more reliable. And then the following two, the discrete point testing is meant to test a particular language item, such as grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and spelling. And then the integrated testing intends to check several language skills simultaneously. In many proficiency tests, there is a mixture of indirect and discrete and integrative testing. But let's talk about some practical examples. Indirect testing items. And this is the most common. MCQs, multiple choice questions. Paola, can you read the characteristics?
It's easy to read and to read by computers. Number 2, very difficult to read well, designing correct choice. And number 3, both their validity and reliability are depend on the student's ability. How can I pronounce techniques rather than his or her understanding of the language?
MCQs techniques.
MCQs, okay, MCQs techniques.
See, MCQ,
Rather than,
MCQ means multiple choice questions. O sea, las preguntas de multiple choice. O sea, por ejemplo,
okay.
A, B, C, D, ¿no? These are easy to answer, easy to read, easy because, but they're not reliable, eh? They're not reliable because a person can actually pass the exam. Si se va de Ave María de me puntaría, de Tetín Marín dos Pingüe, le puede pegar y pasa. I'll give you an example. If you are one time to take TOEFL is multiple choice questions de A, B, C, D. Si ustedes lo completan sin estudiar, sacan 390 puntos. Así de Ave María de la puntería. So it's not, they're not reliable, okay? And
Okay.
if you design them, in other words, if you make them, it's really hard because you need to make all the all the answers similar. So it's very difficult to design the answers for one question. Normally, don't worry, normally these exams are already made. They come from the book, right? You know, from the program. But if you are to design, they're really difficult. Let's see the other one. Close test or gap filling. Can you read it, Jessica? Yes, Jessica.
Yes. Close comes from the word closure and meant the individual's ability to complete a model. Do I keep going?
I'll continue.
Okay. There are two close test techniques. Pseudo-random involves partial or total deletion of random words at a definite range. Um,
Rational.
what is a H?
No. E.g. means, for example, in Latin. So
Okay.
se diría, for example, every 7 words.
Oh, okay. For example, every 7th word. Okay. Rational close technique or gap filling. It's based on the deletion of words connected with the topic the teacher wants to check. For example, present tense of be.
In other words, you have a reading of fill in the blanks. It could be random or for specific items. I give you an example. You have a paragraph, and then you say, complete the paragraph with verbs and past. So it's not random, no es al azar, it's verbs and past. Random is like, me voy a borrar las palabras que estén cada 10 palabras. No importa si es sujeto, si es predicado, si es verbo, etc. Okay, I'll give you an example. Look at this example. Can you answer it? I'll give you 5 minutes to answer it. ¿Sí ven el example? Can you see the example?
More or less.
Yes.
Hey, Jessica, okay, thank you. So you see the paragraph, the missing words and number, and then below the paragraph, there are the answers. You just need to put it in order. So it's pretty easy, actually. I'll give you 5 minutes. Tick tack, tick tack, tick tack. Ready?
Not yet.
Come on, it's easy.
I can read very well, really. By phone is a little bit difficult.
Ah, you can see the screen. Oh, okay, okay. Let's do it together then. It says, how was the march? You have it, Jessica?
No.
No? Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. No, I'm not going to answer it for you. You can do it. You just need to do deductions, okay? Let's leave it for homework. And then when you finish it, you take a picture and send it to the chat. Okay?
Okay.
I'll send the reading class in a moment. Transformation or paraphrase. It's meant to ask students to rewrite sentences in a slightly different form, retaining the exact meaning of the original. Example, I am sorry that I didn't get her an anniversary present. Paola, you can answer this. I wish
I will have money.
No. Fíjate la frase original. I'm sorry I didn't get her an anniversary present. I wish I... O sea, lo mismo, pero diferente frase.
I wish I wouldn't get her an anniversary present.
Okay, close enough. I wish I had given her an anniversary present. Okay, aguas con eso, Paula. You need to work on your conditionals.
Yeah.
Sentence reordering. Give students to put words in the right order to make appropriate sentences. Tell us quite a lot about the knowledge, or syntax or lexicogrammatical elements. Example, put the words in order to make correct sentences. And tenemos el ejemplo, called, I am, in, sorry, wasn't, when, and you. Jessica, answer it.
Sorry, I wasn't in when you called.
Very good. I'm sorry I wasn't in when you called. Excellent. Very good. Good. What about the direct test item? We talk about indirect, which are the easiest. Multiple choice, fill in the gaps, order the sentence. It's easy. Now, the direct questions are more difficult and complicated. I'll explain. Read it, Jessica.
Can you repeat it, please?
Sorry?
Can you repeat it, please?
No, read it. Read the...
Okay. Create a level playing field. Choose topics that come close to ensure that all candidates have the same chance of success.
Very good. In other words, in order for a direct question, en otros libros se llaman open questions. In order for an open or direct question to be effective, everybody must know the context. I'll give you an example. If I ask you, can you tell me the 5 more important dates in the French Revolution? You probably will fail the question unless you like history. So you probably will fail it because you don't know. So if you want to, Nala, sorry about that. If you want to that be effective, everybody needs to know, in this case, about the French Revolution. You see my point?
It's like to know something that, well, or to explain or to talk about something that you are not, but you didn't know it.
Yeah. An open question is difficult because you need to know the context. You need to know the topic. If you don't know the context or you don't know the topic, you most probably will fail the exam. Okay, so everybody needs to have the same background. Okay. Number 2 characteristic. Replicate real life interaction. Speaking item types. Can you read, Paula?
Yes. An interviewer questioning a candidate about themselves. Number 2, decision-making activities such as showing pair candidates photos and people in order to come up with a specific opinion about them. Number 3, using pictures to compare and contrast. And number 4, role play activities.
Very good. Excellent. All communicative, right? All conversation, interviews, role play. Alguien llegó. Sorry about that. Somebody rang the bell. Very good. Sorry, my dogs. Now, writing item test, Jessica.
Writing composition and stories. A set of instructions for someone common task. Newspaper article about a recent event.
Very good. Writing a composition. No, oh. You write us an instruction, newspaper of active article, a recent event or something. Reading item types, Paola.
Multiple choice questions to test comprehension of a text. Number 2, choosing the best summary of a paragraph or a whole text. And number 3, inserting sentences provided by the examiner in the correct place in the text.
Yeah, for example, you have a paragraph and then you say, write the best title of the paragraph or the best title of the story. No? Or you have the paragraph, but you have the sentences randomly ordered. You need to put them in order. Things like that. Listening items, Jessica.
Completing charts with facts and figures for analysis and text. Identifying which victories are being described in a conversation. Identifying which of 2 or 3 speakers says that following directions on a map.
I love that. No, follows direction and the map. Where can I get to the police? Where can I get to the hospital? Where can I, or how can I get? Or listen to the following conversation and tell me the names. Or listen to the conversation and what's the next conversation? Or what is the problem? Or what is the situation? I don't know. There are many, right? Okay. We're going to now writing and checking tests. What can we take into consideration when designing a test? Parentheses. Don't worry normally the tests are already made from the book, from the program that you're using. You can even go to Google and download exams from other teachers. Let's say that you're going to make your own exam. So what are the big points to take into consideration? Number one, the context in which the test takes place. In other words, who is answering? Children, adults, even the geographic place. If you're talking about the beach and they're in the Antártida or on the Polo Norte, no, it's not going to work. Or if you talk about Disney movies and they're adults, it's not going to work. So you need to take the context, or who is answering the exams, who is applying it, etc. Number two, how much time, sorry, I've been bullied by my wife. How much time should be given? If you have 1 hour class, how much time would be the exam? Half an hour, 40 minutes, 20 minutes. Number three, where it will take place, in the classroom, digitally, from Google Sheets. And finally, how much time there is for checking it, not to apply it. For you, how much time will you have to check your exams? Maybe you have a very cool exam, long exam, but then you work for the SEP and you have 600 students. Impossible. It's not going to be objective, right?
I have a question.
Yes.
For example, if you are doing an exam about writing, which is the time that you can left to the students to answer it?
How much time, you mean?
Yes, which is the correct time?
Okay, it depends on the group, but normally in a normal English class, 20 minutes longest. More than that, they will get frustrated.
Okay.
But it depends on the institution, it depends on the group. But yes, I will do 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. But that's like very, like too much,
Yes.
And writing,
Thank you.
So thank you. And writing exams, Paola, you need to check the length of the words. How many words? Not time, but more than checking the time, check the length. For example, write a paragraph about Donald Duck, about Goofy, in 200 words.
It's too much.
No digas 5 minutes, no digas 10 minutes, because students are very tricky.
Yes.
So only say 200 words. Y ahí es donde paren chayotes. Porque te van a decir, Miss, y si me paso, no. Tienes que terminar con el punto final en 200 palabras. That's a real writing exam.
Okay.
Because they need to make the whole story to make sense in 200 words.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Next point, decide what to test. What skills are we intending to evaluate? If it's reading, if it's speaking, listening, etc. What syllables can be legitimately included? In other words, what topics are going to be in the exam? What kind of topics and situations are appropriate for students? Maybe you have an exam for adults or for children, and they won't be appropriate for adults and vice versa. The second one, balance the elements. How much of indirect and indirect items should I include in my exam? And then weight the scores or check the scores. How many points will be given to a section of the test? Acuérdense, last class I said 10 puntos para cada uno para que no se quiebren la cabeza. Luego hay maestros cremosos que dicen, no, yo 5 puntos para esto, 7 points for readings. Y yo así de, pues, está bueno. Dile adiós a tu social life. And finally, making the test work. It is absolutely vital that we try out the design test on colleagues and students alike before applying them to real candidates. Acuérdense, last class, we said this is the perfect situation. You will adapt. In a perfect situation, in an utopic situation, you will design your exam y le vas a decir, Miss, ¿me ayudas a checarlo a ver si está bien? Y la otra Miss, claro, por supuesto, tengo todo el tiempo del mundo y lo voy a checar. Y va a ser gratis. Y luego lo aplicas con tu vecino y con el niño de tu vecino. ¿Me ayudas a aplicar? Nada más para checarlo si funciona o no. Y ok, fine. That doesn't work. That's not reality. But anyways, that's what it should be done. That's what publishers and the books do. Before releasing the exam, they have tests and studios and surveys and people doing and applying exams. If you have the time and the chance, well, then I applaud you. It's okay? So far, so good?
Yeah.
Jessica?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
Yes.
Jessica's good. Yes, okay, good. Oh, okay. So, all right, let's I give you a homework, okay? For homework, you're going to, in your case, Jessica, you have 2 homeworks now. The one from last class and now, and this one, okay? I'm going to give you over the chat an image of the page of the unit, of a book. And then you're going to make the exam for that specific unit. Don't go cheating, don't go Google. You have to do it yourself, okay? And I give you the description of the group, teenagers, advanced, whatever. I haven't decided which one, but I will give you the unit where you're going to apply or make or design the exam. Okay?
So we are going to solve it.
Sorry?
We are going to answer it.
No, you're going to make the exam.
Okay.
You're going to make the questions for the exam. You need to check the elements that we discuss: direct, indirect, multiple question, complete the sentence, order the sentence. All the items that we discuss include at least 6 of them. Okay, 6 elements of a test, different elements on a test. Could be, again, for example, fill in the blanks, write a paragraph, listening to an audio, multiple choice questions, etc. See, Paula?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
All right, so Jessica, what is homework?
To make, well, in my case, the another homework, make the exam of the unit that you will send us, focused, and the people that you are going to say to send us, and that at least there 6 elements, so what we saw on our exam.
Very good. Excellent. Very good. At least 6 types of items. Okay. Very, very good. Okay. So let's call it a day. Thank you very much. Next Tuesday, let me stop the recording.